The UK economy has avoided a triple-dip recession by growing by 0.3% in the first quarter of this year. Richard Barley is here to tell us whether the recovery really is on the way. Finally, Richard, it's taken an awfully long time. But is this good news?
Well, let's start with the caveats. This is the first estimate. Yeah. It may yet be revised. Overall, the big picture is the economy has flatlined for 18 months. But having said that, this is a positive surprise. Most people were going for flat to 0.1. This is much better than expected. You can see that in the market. Sterling shot up by over a cent against the dollar.
Where did the growth come from?
That's part of the problem, though. The growth is in the services sector, which is the dominant part of the UK economy. Yeah. But if the whole idea was that we were supposed to be rebalancing towards manufacturing and away from services, that doesn't appear to be happening. Manufacturing was actually down in the quarter.
And also, I mean, but let's put this in the global context. It's still quite astonishing given the bad news that's coming out of so many other major economies.
This is very true. And added to that bad news, the other factor people were thinking about along the first quarter was bad weather. That was another factor that people were thinking was going to drag on the economy in the UK. So this number is positive on that front.
Okay, is it sustainable? I think that's really the key question.
That is a $64 billion question, possibly. That's very difficult to say. One of the things that is going to be interesting to watch, though, is whether the housing market starts to respond to some of the measures taken in the budget and also the expansion of this, the Bank of England's funding
which was just announced yesterday.
Mortgage rates have come down. The housing market is very important to the UK economy. And if it manages to get some momentum, that may help confidence.
But then people might actually worry about a bubble.
I think exactly. We are betting on the same engines of growth that brought us to.
But you just said a very key word there: confidence. I mean, good news only tends to feed on itself, and you know, if confidence was pretty flat down in the UK, it is a case here that this could actually boost confidence and help the recovery, sort of turn into a virtuous circle.
This is very true. We're not going to wake up tomorrow morning to a bunch of newspaper headlines saying Britain back in recession, which again should.
And also politically, I assume this helps the Chancellor, because he's had a lot of people badgering him about you can't have more austerity. It's not working. Here it is. Well, maybe it could be starting to.
He's had a rough couple of weeks, certainly, and this number is certainly the right one for him compared to a contraction.
And finally, I have to ask Richard, what does this mean for the Bank of England at this point? When things weren't looking good, everybody's saying, the bank's going to come out with more quantitative easing, it'll chuck more money at the markets. Do you think that the bank will do that now?
I suspect now the bank will be on hold. I think certainly they're not going to go anywhere near tightening, but there certainly doesn't seem to be any need for more QE at the moment. You're seeing gilt yields rise a little bit this morning. I think people are tempering back expectations of an increase in QE.
Richard, looking back in a few months' time, is it possible that we could be at a key turning point here?
It's possible, certainly. At some point, the economy should start to grow. I guess one of the main problems has been wage growth and inflation. If some measures of inflation are starting to drift lower, but wage growth is still very anemic. But if the housing market were to start to pick up, that's
confidence straight through. Short circuits. Richard, thank you very much.
Thank you.